So we're over here in Somerville, Georgia. I found a 69 Mustang, basically a parts car for $350. Because it's always kind of bothered me when you pop the hood and you see the S197 stuff there. So like what I'm really considering doing is cutting all the stuff out aside from the S197 frame rails. That way, you know, I can keep the subframe and all that. And running like the 1970 69 style core support and all that. Well, I come across a video where a guy, it was a super nice body swap, but he had used, sorry, I'm looking at my GPS, but he had used the 70 metal on top of the S197, you know, like core support and fender supports. I guess so he had places to mount all his fenders to, and you know, honestly, it looked like it worked well. The only thing that bothered me is he kept the S197 stuff, so like right under all the 1970 metal, you could see the S197 metal, like two core supports and all. So I'm wanting it to look as factory as possible, and I think a reason, you know, he probably did that was to keep from more or less having to build a custom suspension. He could run the S197 stuff. Well, that's not a huge deal to me. I like doing that kind of stuff. So deleting the strut towers would give me a ton more room in there, and I just have to either run like a Mustang 2 style suspension. But what I'm thinking is, if I go this route, I don't think I'll be using the S550 stuff. I'll just keep the S197 lower control arms and basically convert the McPherson strut knuckle to a ball joint and just run a upper link. So we're getting ready to pull up here now. I hadn't seen the car, but the guy did say like the front engine bay metal should be usable, which is mainly what I'm concerned about. So we'll get some video of that. Just figure I'd give a little update. I think it's less rusted than the Fastback we have.
Really?
Yeah, it has, not bad. Just so I can get it. I should I can get on top. But like, look, the main metal I was worried about from here, but like, look, back there, all the frame rail, which I don't care about the frame rail because it's this metal, is what I was wanting. And then it's still got a VIN plate. But yeah, dude, shit.
What you think, Raiden?
Look at that, I'm gonna play.
The doors are about the only rusted part. The fenders are actually pretty damn good. And look, it's got all the fender supports and shit on it.
Can we go play over there?
No, not over here, bud.
Raiden, there's a lot of stuff. I'd rather you just stay by me.
The rockers actually look pretty good. So,
What do you think, Sissy? You want to paint it pink and drive it?
Sissy, no. Lava van.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it.
Alright, so we're down here working on the 70 again, and I had ordered some new full quarter panels, but I actually ended up canceling that order just to, if they'll cancel it, we'll see. But only because I actually went out back and grabbed the original quarters that I cut out, and I probably just got a little too happy and cut too much out. But I really wanted to treat the understructure. But anyway, and I still may do new quarters, but these actually lined up really well. I've kind of got them tacked on. Everything's pretty much level. They need, you know, some work, and it still definitely needs, you know, replaced here towards the bottom for sure. But for now, this will at least let me kind of see where the wheel well's gonna land, stuff like that. So what I'm about to do is tack the other one on the other side. So all the metal up in here is good. It, you know, probably needs clean, primed, and all that. So at the end of the day, I'm probably still going to do new quarters. But I also, the way these look, I might be able to kind of graft these back in and then just do a patch panel instead of doing a full thing. Because from my understanding, a lot of your aftermarket ones don't come with like the these little pegs in the rear window, or, you know, I guess, well, mainly the rear, because that's the quarters go. But for like the seal and stuff like that, and I still haven't even decided what I'm going to do with that. I doubt I'm going to spend $2,000 on flush mount glass. So I'm just trying to avoid some little problems towards the end, which the way that quarter lined up, if the other one lines up that good, then I'm probably just going to weld this back in and then cut less out of it and do like a patch panel. But we'll see. I mean, if I have to end up doing quarters, I will. This just kind of solves my problem today for very little of my time to kind of get the body back on here, because after this I'm going to pull the doors off that 69. Actually, the doors I have are in better shape, but I need one latch and I need hinges, because the hinges on this car were totally froze up. Stuck them down there in some oil, but those are working no problem, so I'll just pull those off and stick them on here, get the doors on and kind of the quarters tacked on at least. And then I went and grabbed the cowl that I cut out, which I have the full top panel here, but I need, if I'm not mistaken, I need the rest of the window seal here, and then I'm also going to keep where the windshield wiper bolts on, and more or less weld that to the other cowl, and then I'll go ahead and start getting that fit up. And I mean, if I can get all that fit and looking good, then I'll probably go ahead and start welding the body in, at least tacking it in kind of semi-permanently, and go ahead. I'll also need to stick a dash in here, which I'll just have it right over there. I'm thinking, since I ended up cutting the inner dash mounts out here, I'm going to try to save those two, which has a bracket, and then of course you still have the center console. Oh, sorry, dropped my phone. But then more or less I could rotate the bolts on the outside of the dash and bolt it through the side. So, but at the end of the day, I can still at least bolt the dash in here with a few mounts I have. So I'm gonna go ahead and get you guys set up on a time lapse, and I'm gonna tack the other quarter in, and then I'm probably gonna come back and cut this cowl area out and go ahead and start trying to fit all that up.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.
Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucker.
Alright, so I got the driver's side quarter tacked on as well. And I don't think I cut this side as good as I did the other one. Most of this lined up pretty well through here. I got a little bit a little bit of a gap there. Down through there is not too bad. And I'm more of a I learned to weld TIG welding because I worked in a maintenance job where we did a lot of stainless. So if I do come back in here and weld these in, if I decide to use them, I'm going to TIG weld them. I was just using the MIG for like simplicity. And again, I don't claim to be an expert at, I started doing my business doing mechanic work. I got out of that. Now I mainly just buy and sell 5.0 Mustangs. Mainly just do Cody swaps, that kind of stuff. I kind of took this project under the thought of, well, I know how to weld. I've cut drift cars up, done like over panels, and mechanically I know all the underworkings of these Mustangs. So my thought is I could use this to kind of not only build something cool but get better at stuff I like doing. So before everybody's roasting me in the comments about I did something wrong, yeah, I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be. And at the end of the day, if I do decide to go with full quarter panels, I'll replace those, correctly. But this is as much as far as adding body work back to a car as I've ever done. And I would have thought, I guess it's, not coming from this field of, if I'm going to replace, fix a quarter panel, I'm going to just replace the whole thing. And then I started seeing a lot more patch panels, and they're much cheaper. Full quarters are kind of expensive, especially shipping. So I did go ahead and cancel them just in case I end up putting, welding these in the car and just patching the bottoms, because all the top metal's good. So yeah, that's where we're at on that. I think I'm about to start getting those doors off before it gets dark, and then go ahead and put those on and see what we got from there, and hopefully get to working on the cowl tonight. One of the doors that came with this car, which all the doors that came with this car, they're good doors. They were just empty. But one of them did have a latch. So I had hinges with it, but the other hinges were already working and unseized, more or less. So what I ended up doing is, instead of swapping all the internals out of the driver door off the new parts car, tonight, I didn't feel like doing that. I just bolted that door on, but the bottom of it's rotted really bad. But to be honest, I just have this thing tacked on here. It's level left to right and front to back, and it's level with the S197. And there's no adjustment. I haven't adjusted these, bothered adjusting the door or anything, but hell, they open and close fine here. So I know there was one guy commenting about I didn't put enough bracing in the car or whatnot. Obviously it's not for what I'm doing. The doors, that they're not really like so. And with that being said, none of this is welded in here either. So I did brace the windshield, and I did brace the back windshield. Another thing is I went ahead, and now when I cut this up, I didn't really have any regards to putting it back on here. So I didn't time lapse this because honestly I didn't know how well it would fit or if it'd even be worth sticking on here. But I did, and hell, it lines up pretty well. I could probably come hammer and dolly that a little bit better, but up through here is really well. And again, like I said, I didn't really have much regard for putting this back on. So I don't know, I just got to playing with it, and it all started lining up and working. So sorry I didn't time lapse that, but I just kind of threw everything on there just to see how it looked. But all the stuff I cut off here, it actually is lining up pretty well. So I'm really considering welding these quarter panels back in and then just patching them from here down. Because I think the patch panels, when you buy them, they're pretty much like this whole side panel, not the top. So at a minimum, I'm probably going to weld them back in, and then if I do something like that, recut them, just to keep from having to do a full quarter panel. And again, you live and you learn. Hindsight's 20/20. If I'd have thought about that, or come across, because I really wasn't looking at much. At many parts when I just started cutting this thing, because I was like, I'll do new quarter panels, I'll do this. So if I'd have come across the patch panels sooner or something, I definitely would have. And I think I even said in one of my videos I'd be conservative with my cut, and then my dumb ass wasn't. I went cutting high. And again, I kind of did that because I wanted to get under the fastback structure, which I did treat it with like the Rust-Oleum spray, which you could spray over the rust, and it was just black. So yeah. And then probably go ahead, and if I do end up welding these back in, before I do any internals or anything, come back and kind of clean all that out inside these quarter panels, because they are solid. Of course, there's just some come back in there and get those sprayed up and stuff. And two, I may have it, I don't know, because I am going to do wheel tubs, so I don't know yet. We'll figure all that out. The next thing, and I'm not going to mess with it tonight, tomorrow, is I'm going to go ahead and not start, because tomorrow I don't have anything to do. I had to go to the doctor today. I'm going to get this cowl cut out. I'm going to get the other cowl in there and see if I can get it lined up. And I'm really hoping that once I get that cut out, that the chassis is not too low. Because if it's not, and that cowl lines up, I can probably go ahead and start welding it in. Because you can kind of see here, I don't know where that cowl over there is going to line up, but like here's where I cut it. So, I mean, if it kind of comes down through here, that would be great. Because where I have it tacked now, I actually, like my first tack was perfect. I could go ahead and weld it in. And B, that would allow me to keep the top dash mounts. And then, of course, I have the center console mount, so it won't be anything mounting this dash back in here. And then from there, all I really have to do is come back and cut this rocker out, at least, you know, kind of up to here. So the fenders will sit flush. And then hell, it probably won't take too long to go ahead and start getting like the fenders sat on here. And then once I got all that done, I'll lay the hood on and see what I got to do for the core support. But all in all, like I know the finish work is what takes up your time on everything. So like I'm not even thinking I'm near done. But I mean, so far this has kind of gone quicker / smoother than I thought it would. Hadn't been the worst thing I've ever done, mainly because I'm enjoying it, I think. But I'll update you guys tomorrow once I get down here and get kind of messing around. I ended up getting the dash split and got kind of like the understructure in here with the airbox, which I'm using that mount. I cut the stock mounts off, but it's not going to be bad to more or less build, you know, mounts off of the 1970 body and then reuse the 2014 actual mounts. Just got to move them in some. So the only thing is, I don't know, it may be just a tiny bit sitting too high, which I don't really want to come up much, but where my cowl is doing is it's hitting right on the airbox. So I know once I stick the cover in there, which I mean I do have to cut, you know, a lot off the cover, but once you do that, like there's not gonna be any room, and more or less to mount the windshield wipers, I mean they're gonna have to mount in between there. So what I'm about to do is stick it in the air and go ahead and get the rest of this rocker cut out so I could stick a fenders on here and just kind of see where I'm sitting and kind of see what I have to do as far as getting that adjusted. To also tell me like maybe if the hood is going to interfere with the strut towers, because you can do it without interfering, because I don't want to, you know, modify those. I believe I'm going to have to cut maybe some of this panel out. But I'm getting ready to stick it in the air, finish cutting off the rocker, and then kind of just start mocking up the fenders to see what happens. So I'm kind of liking where the body's sitting, and I hadn't even moved it. This is where I first sat it. So I know some people move them farther forward or back or whatnot, but the front fenders are pretty much centered. The rears, I got to order patch panels anyway, so I can kind of cheat those. I mean, I already got to replace them. So I think as long as I can make this dash fit, I'm probably going to leave the body where it's at, because these fenders are pretty much lining up with this. And so like what I'm thinking is I'm actually going to come in here and cut this core support out. I know some people keep them, but I'm thinking I'm going to cut those out and then run the 70 core support. That'll make things a lot easier as far as how everything lines up. So what I'm getting ready to do now is I mark the dash. I'm just hoping, either way, you pretty much got to remove the defrost vents and the top part of the dash. So I come in here and I marked off, well, that's in the down right, and I marked off where I'm going to cut. And I really don't want to cut much more than that. So hopefully where that's cut, I can get the cowl to sit down right over top and you'll never even see it, because of where it's sitting right now, that should slide just right under the cowl. And if that's the case, then the bottom of the windshield and cowl will cover it and you'll never even notice that the dash is cut. And two, I don't know, for the sake of, because it's going to be very tight for windshield wipers to fit, so I don't know. I mean, I'd hate to I hate to just bolt them in there for looks, but I mean, this car, it's not meant to be driven all the time in the rain and shit anyway. So that's just one of those things I'm gonna have to decide down the road if I'm gonna try and mess with the windshield wipers or just, you know, rain X the windshield and try not to drive it on rainy days. So we'll see. I don't know if it's even worth it. It's looking like a lot of headache for how low I got the car sat. But we'll see. I mean, if I can do it, and like I have to say delete defrost, that kind of sucks too. Because I could always just make a small vent to kind of defrost the windows. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like things start fogging up, stuff like that. It is annoying to drive, you know, without defrost or anything like that. But also thinking too is mainly when you have those issues is when it's raining. So this might just be a car you don't drive in the rain. But we'll see. I'm about to set this up and get to cutting on it and keep fitting it. Alright, so, you know, there's no guide to doing this. So I kind of thought I might have to cut into the cowl, and I mean, that's fine. Let me see. So I've kind of got it all mocked up here, but there's just no way that dash is going to fit under there. So I believe what I'm going to do is come and cut right down through here. So I still have my windshield, you know, where the windshield sits. And I'm also going to come back and I'm thinking in some of these places like here, I'm going to cut and bend that up to meet it and weld that together and then sheet metal this in. So all that should be pretty, you know, sturdy or whatnot. And if I got to add some bracing underneath, I will. But I'm hoping if I come in here and cut this out along this line, that'll give me enough to get the dash fit. Because, again, I kind of like where the car's sitting. From everything I've looked at, this is about the lowest I've seen anyone sit one. And two, I mean, I still have, you know, probably, 3-4 inches of wheel gap here. And I think this car's on lowering springs, so I don't know how much more I can lower it. I really don't want to run too much bigger than an 18. I have a set of 20s up there I may just stick on here to see what it looks like. But for the most part, I'd like to be able just to leave the body where it's at again, because that just would save a lot more work. It's also as low as you could get it. It would save me from having to cut off, which you can't see, but it would save me from having to cut off so much in the back, because like right now, I mean, the rear taillight panel is pretty much sitting here. I don't know what I'm going to do about the stock wheel well yet. Pretty sure I'll cut it out and then sheet metal this flat in here. Was considering moving the fuel tank, but I also may just reroute the filler neck up through the trunk, so it still fills through here but uses the stock gas tank. But yeah, if I can more or less get this dash kind of fit where I'm happy with it, I'll stick the console in there, make sure everything lines up, and then should be able to cut that core support out and get that one bolted on and kind of start getting everything quote unquote, you know, bolted in. Then from there, I'll go ahead and order, like say, the windshield, order the patch, because I did order full quarter panels, but I canceled it. They did cancel, Summit did cancel my order, but the money's still pending. So once all that's cleared, I'll go ahead and order more than likely just the patch panels, because they pretty much replace from like here down all the way back. And as good as this fit back up, again, like, you know, hindsight's 20/20. I should have just done that from the get-go. But I to be honest, I didn't even know they made patch panels. And with, you know, little experience, I don't do like body work. I've cut up a couple drift cars and used like over fenders or over panels, which that's not hard, just rivet them on. I kind of more or less was like, hey, I'm gonna replace everything. And the more you look, you know, with stuff not lining up and all that, I was like, well, let's see. And since I was able to kind of get everything welded, you know, tacked back in here, and the back panel's not even tacked in, it's just held in by these clamps. It all lines back up pretty well. So I'm just gonna tack weld, or not tack, but weld this panel back in and then change my cut line. I think that'll save a lot of work. And from there, I mean, I think most of the work will come from having to build tubs. And there's, you know, like right here in the A-pillars, a little bit of rust. So I'll just order a replacement panel, fix that. But I'd like to get everything mounted. Hell, and I may even go ahead and put build the drivetrain and put in here, and get it running and driving before I start fixing all the little stuff. And I mean, that would be, I've only been working on it for a little over a week, so that'd be pretty quick. I'd like to take it to a couple shows, just because, like, you never see coyote swap ones, much less, you know, like body swap ones. And we got World of Wheels coming up in Birmingham in February, so I think it'd be, like, my goal is to get it done and finished and see if I can get it entered in that. But yeah, let me quit blabbering, and I'll keep working on this and try to get it fit up. And with it, much trial and error as this is, I may not time lapse it, and just show you the finished product once I got the dash bit. I went ahead and cut that part out of the cowl like I was talking about, and my, you know, still have my windshield mount. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that's gonna work, because the windshield should come down, and I mean, that even, you know, has room to kind of go up and down, but it's gonna, you know, the windshield should squeeze it pretty tight right in there. Yeah. So don't know about defrost or anything yet. Which, you know, at the end of the day, if I can't keep it, I can't keep it. But I'm pretty happy with this. Which I'd cut, you know, this is the cowl I just cut out. So I should be able to add that back. I don't think that'll be too much of an issue. So I guess kind of like one of the next things is I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the core support area, and then I probably need to go ahead and get a windshield ordered. Yeah, my hair's messed up. I keep putting respirators on and off, all that. But I think I need to go ahead and get a windshield ordered. And the next thing to do is probably go ahead and start getting that core support out of that car. And I think I'm not going to cut this one out yet. I'm going to see maybe if I can cut into it and kind of graft it in there. But either way, even if I got to cut this one out, I don't think it'll be that big a deal, because the front subframe holds the radiator. Then it's just a matter of making top mounts. It's not that big a deal. So I'll update you guys on that.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up.
So I was able to get the core support cut out of the 69, and I also cut just, you know, the minimum amount of basically the core support off the S197. And I took some measurements and come in here, and this is the factory 69, and I basically just cut it to kind of fit in between and then sit on the S197 frame rails. More or less. Here, let me flip it around. I've got it sitting level, well, pretty level. That side needs just a little bit taken out of it over there. But it's almost like using a cheat code to bolt the fenders in, because instead of guessing all that, I use the top bolt there. That one's broke, and I use the bottom bolt there, and kind of the same deal on the other side. And I mean, there's no I haven't adjusted anything. They're just bolted on. But the gap's not terrible. It could probably close up some, but the door's got room to move. Also, the fender's hitting on the rocker, so that's got to be notched. I just got the cowl kind of just sitting up here for now. I still got to figure out how I'm going to mount that so it looks good. But windshield part of the cowl is just kind of temporarily sitting in there, and I think that's just going to be just perfect. It should sit nice and flush up against the dash, but it actually looked pretty decent. I know a lot of people cut the strut towers, but like to me that's stupid. I don't know why you would cut any of your structure, especially well, obviously I cut structure out of this car, but like your suspension mounting point structure. So I just notched it, and it cleared pretty well. So this also gives it, in my opinion, more of like a factory look, which is kind of what I really wanted, because originally I was talking about cutting the innards out, but to be honest, like it really doesn't need it, just using the front core support. I honestly don't know why more people don't do that. But yeah, it's coming along. Some of this is your more time consuming stuff. And I'm sure getting everything lined up like for good will be pretty time consuming. But I have a friend who is gonna paint it, does paint body stuff, so I'm gonna get him to help me out, because that's not something I do ever. And of course I'm just eyeballing all this as far as just how everything's kind of lining up. I haven't gone and adjusted it, and it's, you know, it looks pretty decent. A lot of the metal that came with the car was usable. Still got to get this door swapped over, but yeah, for the most part, I'm gonna come back and get these quarter panels welded back in and just order patch panels and repair from here down. And if the wheel well needs to go either way, that'll be pretty easy to do. Seeing as how like I can cut the panel up here and adjust it forwards and backwards to fit the wheel well, the new panel. And since I wasn't really planning on, I don't think I'm going to buy new fenders for the front because I got 2 sets. It's actually lining up okay, but if you notice, it is towards the back. I'm still pretty sure I'm going to do S550 front suspension, and I've built like an angle kit for drifting for those cars with adjustable lower control arms and tension rods. So all I'm going to do, I'm actually not going to worry about the front wheel wells. I'm going to add some caster to the car because for track driving, I mean, it helps with, you know, any type of track driving, but drifting too. Caster is great. I run somewhere around 9.5 degrees. I'm also probably going to run somewhere around -4 to -5 degrees of camber up front. Even if I don't drift this car all the time, like I actually like the look of straight up and down tires in the rear, and you know, just a little bit of usable camber up front. So I'm not going to be running these wheels. The car also right now it has, you know, it doesn't have the engine in it, so it is sitting a little high. It also is going to sit some high just because of the difference in the bodies. So it is on lowering springs, so I don't really know how much lower I want to go with it. I mean, it's got a couple inches, so I'd like to stay with an 18, but if I'm not able to, I could always run a 20 to take up the wheel gap, and that way the car doesn't have to sit all the way on the ground. So I'll kind of determine all that later. My main concern for now was getting basically the body kind of mounted, and hell, it's damn close. So I bought some more rust converter today. I'm gonna go through, clean it up, and you know, spray, you know, rust convert, coat most of it, and of course it'll get sealed and all whenever it gets painted. So I'm getting pretty close to start welding this thing on, I think. Just, you know, a couple more playing with it here or there. So that's gonna be it, I think, for this video. This is probably another long video, and I think this is part 3 now. I know each one's been about 40 minutes so far, and I might start cutting those down. But still out here working on it, and gonna continue to work on it, because once the body and everything's pretty well done, sticking the interior back in here is not gonna be a big deal. And I'm gonna finish up this S197. I ordered a clutch and King race bearings and all kinds of stuff to build the motor for that car. And once I get it sold, basically then I'm gonna be just focused on this, and I'm gonna go ahead and order everything I need to build the motor. I have a transmission over here. I've got a Gen 1 computer over there. So I think I just need I'm gonna do a new engine harness. And I should have just about everything else. I need like a clutch. So that'll be in one of the next future videos. You know, I'll video all that, I guess, where I built the motor. So, and that to me, that part goes fast, because that's stuff I do all the time. So once the body's kind of mounted, and I got the interior in here, it'll be quick to get it running. So my goal is going to be to have it running by February and see if I can get it in World of Wheels. We'll see. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Hell, thanks for watching. Hope so far you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.